Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a really fun tag. I've been seeing this go around, and because I did my last video, which was all about things that I'm not going to buy in 2021, I thought that this one would be fun just to kind of reflect on the past year on my best and worst purchases of 2020. So in that other video, I talked about how 2020 was a pretty expensive year for us because we got married, we got our car, and we moved to Texas. So there were so many things we bought, and with that came a lot of things that we regret buying. And so I wanted to start off with the worst purchases and then go into the best purchases. But quite honestly, we had a lot of really good purchases. I feel very confident in most of the purchases that we make. And I'm saying we because Aiden and I have shared finances. So most of these things are we purchases ever since we got married. I also saw my friend Brooke do this video recently, and hers was just really insightful to see. Some of these things I'm going to be talking about the prices, some I'm not going to, but for the most part, most of the things I am saying the prices on. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear from you guys. What is your number one best purchase, and what was your number two worst purchase in 2020? Feel free to let me know down below, and also let me know if you like these videos, these kind of more fun tags or like financy videos, whatever it may be. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you guys watch my vlogs too, you'll see we got a little corner going right here, so you should definitely watch them because I feel like I've been filming a lot in this corner, so I wanted to do a little bit of something. So we got some stuff back there. First worst purchase, this one I couldn't actually really do anything about. It was just a reality, and that was my rent in New York City from April to July. So I had a year lease, but in April or in March, I moved back here to Texas, and I just didn't go back. Obviously, at that time during COVID and everything, you weren't going back and forth between places. And so I was in a year-long lease. There's nothing you can really do about that, but my rent each month in New York City was $1,700. So I lived in a one-bedroom apartment that was kind of like a flex one-bedroom. So I had a pretty small bedroom to myself with my roommate Rose. And that is how much I paid for my half of the apartment. So it was definitely steep. And that cost from April to July was just a lot of money, and sending those checks to be paying rent for a place that you're not even living in. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people couldn't control. A lot of people dealt with this. And so I'm not really hard on myself about this, but in hindsight, I'm like, I really wish I could have gotten that money back. Number two, so this was one that I didn't actually pay for, but it still hurts me because I was involved in it. And that was our international honeymoon. So we were supposed to go to St. Lucia. I'm not gonna say where we were gonna stay because we still might go because we couldn't get the money back from it. So we just kind of pushed it off until whenever we can hopefully go there. But that was honestly such a hefty cost between the flights, which that I think we did get a refund from. One of the resorts we were gonna stay at, we did get the money back from, but the other one we didn't. And so Aiden actually paid for this, but it's something that I just feel really sad about because I wish we could have just canceled that, because I don't even know when we're gonna get to go. And at the time, we had no idea all of this was gonna be happening. And I don't think we knew it was gonna last this long. So we were like, we're gonna go ahead and book it. And that was just a big fail. So won't be booking any trips until I know 100% things are gonna be back to normal. But I think a lot of people had those issues with like travel plans and everything. This one is a small one, but it's one that I talk about all the time. We got this desk from Josh in Maine, I believe. I'll put a picture here. It's a very popular desk. It's actually sold out right now, so you can't even get it. But we spent, I think, close to $400 on this desk, and I so regret buying it because one, I didn't realize you could get such great stuff off of Facebook Marketplace at the time. It was really hard to build. So granted, I don't think we built it to the best of our ability, but it totally fell apart. Like, it literally fell apart. I remember we were trying to move the desk from the living room to the bedroom because it was such an eyesore to look at, and it was falling apart, and we were so frustrated that eventually we just threw it out. Like, there was no saving it. And that was a purchase I regret, and now I don't really buy things off of like Wayfair or try to avoid furniture that you actually have to build. So we also had our wedding, as I talked about. Now, we were still able to get married and just have a small wedding, but there was still a lot of things that I paid for that I do regret. And I do want to do like a whole video on wedding planning and things that I think you can spend more on, things that I think you should spend less on, but I'm waiting for all of our wedding footage to actually do that video. But for me, one thing that I didn't realize was so expensive are wedding invites. Wedding invites can be so expensive. We got ours off of Minted, which is a really great website if you need to actually get some wedding invites done. But we ordered so many because we obviously thought we were having our normal wedding, and we paid, I think, think close to $500 for all the invites. And then stamps are another thing that are really expensive that you don't think about, because stamps aren't very expensive when you're not buying them in bulk. But when you buy them in bulk, we spent, I think, $200 on stamps too. And so that was a really hefty cost when we just didn't need that many invites. This is another one that I give myself slack on because I had no idea this was gonna happen. But in hindsight, I really wish I wouldn't have ordered that many, knowing that most of those people weren't actually going to come. This one is very specific to me, but I talked to you guys about how I was dealing with hair loss, and I think it's really easy when you're dealing with something like hair loss. You want to fix the problem so easily because you're like, my hair's falling out, I don't want it to be falling out, so I'm gonna try everything that I can to actually get it to grow. And so I did so many doctor's appointments, and I had this one doctor who actually told me that I should get these iron IVs. So essentially I had pretty low iron, like really, really low iron. Mine was my ferritin levels. They were supposed to be from 50 to 100, and mine was 7. And so he really recommended that I do an iron IV because my iron supplements just weren't absorbing right. And I did 3 of these iron IVs, essentially when you sit and you just get it put in your arm. My iron levels went up, but I do think if I just would have continued with the supplements, it would have gone up, just not as fast. It wasn't like a life or death thing, but they were so expensive. I didn't realize my insurance wasn't gonna cover most of it. I'm very thankful that I have insurance, but even with my insurance, they were just like, I think close to $1,000 or something. And so I'd really recommend, if you're dealing with something like that where it's not life or death, you get like a second opinion, you kind of wait it out, and don't just do something really quickly because you think it's gonna solve all your problems, because I don't really think those did a ton. I think it raised my ferritin levels, but that didn't do anything for my hair. I remember I was in New York, and I remember it was on the onset of the pandemic, and people were talking about how you weren't gonna be able to get food. The shelves at the grocery store were bare. People were buying up everything. And so I remember I did an Amazon stock up of like canned goods. I went in full like the world is going to end mode, and I spent $180 on all this food that I just never ended up eating because I don't eat canned goods for the most part, but you just thought like, oh, there's not gonna be food. And I really regret that stock up because all that food just kind of ended up staying at my apartment and I didn't do anything with. So my last one is actually one of our home things that we got. So when we were starting furnishing our apartment, I really kind of wanted to do it quickly. And so I got in this phase of just going to all these different furniture shops and buying all this stuff. And I remember we went to the Pottery Barn outlet and I found this rug that's over here. It's just a small little rug. It's very simple. It's gray, pretty standard. And I know, you know, nice rugs are expensive, but this rug, I did not realize, I thought was on sale. I got up to the checkout and it was like a $400 rug. And it's just a little rug. I think that I could have gotten something from Home Goods that was maybe $50. And I'm all for spending more money on nice quality pieces, but when it's something like a simple little rug over there, I was like, this is just not something that I need to spend that much on. But I was just buying all this stuff for our apartment that I wasn't really thinking about it. We bought this rug and now I just always look at it and I'm like, I didn't need to spend that much money on it. Now on to my best purchases. So my number one thing that I'm so happy that we spent more money on. So this was actually a gift from my parents, but I wanted to put it in here because even if I bought it, I would have also wanted to spend more on it, and that's my wedding dress. I never knew if, you know, spending a lot of money on a wedding dress was important because it's a dress you only wear once. You know, do I really need to spend like thousands of dollars on a dress? But I loved my wedding dress. It was from the brand Anay and Annette. It's a very simple dress, very sleek. They have a lot of like more modern, especially good if you're someone who's going to elope. Beautiful dresses, and it was the poppy gown. And I remember when I tried it on,
the backs really like the.
Oh, it's so pretty. It was just the best thing. I absolutely loved this dress. And like I said, it was a gift from my parents. That was one of the things that they chipped in for, which I'm so thankful for. And I even like having it now that it's something I can show, you know, my kids one day. I still want to try it on every now and then because I think it's just a really pretty dress. And I definitely feel like it's something that's worth investing a little more in. This one is one I talk about all the time, but it is our Jeep. We love our car. And so we got our Jeep Grand Cherokee and we got it used. It was a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I think it's a 2017. We love our car. We have taken it so many different road trips. Obviously, we're not really flying right now very often. Texas is definitely a driving state. Everything is very far apart from each other. And so we just love our car. It has been so reliable. I know we haven't had it for like a year yet, so maybe it will. We actually got it through this company called Sidco Auto. They essentially go to different auctions and they will bid on cars, and so you tell them what you want and they will go to different, you know, used car auctions and try to find exactly what you want. I'll have them linked down below if you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area. They might even serve areas outside of that, but I had such a good experience with them. They're actually like a family friend, and so loved working with them, and that is just a purchase that I'm really thankful for and really means a lot to me because it was, you know, a personal goal. Along with the wedding stuff, something that I was really thankful that I spent more money on was our wedding photographer. I loved our wedding photographer. They were actually a couple. They're called the Lockharts. If you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, they do film photos and digital photos, and I really wanted someone who shot in film. I think the photos just look very dreamy. They're very special, and I loved them. They were so organized, so great to work with, so sweet. Just a very genuine couple who loves their job, and they got all of the deliverables to us so quickly. I didn't feel like I had to follow up and like see what was going on, and they were just the best. And I think that if you are doing your wedding and planning it, photography is something that is so worth spending more on. They were actually pretty reasonably priced according to like all the other people that I reached out to, but they were really great. Next is just all of our bedding. I think that investing in quality bedding is really important. I love our bed frame, I love our mattress, and I love our sheets. So we have this bed frame, I'll link down below. Everyone has it. It's such a popular bed, but it's just very clean and simple. And since we got it, the price has gone up $300, which I think is crazy, but it's because everyone's buying it because it's a really good bed. And then our mattress is the Helix Dusk mattress. It's also more like reasonably priced, I would say, but it's a really great mattress, so comfortable. And even though we just have a queen, so we don't have a king, we've really gotten used to it. And because the bed's so comfortable, I just don't really think about having more space. And it's really been, you know, perfectly fine for us. And then we also have Brooklinen sheets and our duvet covers from Brooklinen. And I love our sheets. They just feel like hotel sheets. They're very high quality, but the price is more reasonable. And so I'll have all those linked down below. But I think investing in something like your bedding is so important because you do sleep a lot of your life. Next is just the little weekend trips we've been doing. So we've been doing little drives, and we went and did like a tiny cabin like an hour away from us. And we also visited Canyon, Texas. Texas has so much to offer. I love living here. I think that there's so much to do. And if you guys are interested in more like Texas things, you should follow me on Instagram because I do a little series where I share like little gems in Texas. But I really think it's fun investing in those things because we really waited to do things like that until we got married. I just feel like they're more special. And those are things that I really do think are worth the money. My next one is a clothing item, and they are the Lululemon Align tops. I love these tops. They're definitely more expensive. I think they're around $50, but I've always struggled to find really quality workout tops that feel comfortable to work out in, and they just are really tight to your body. They're very flattering. I would recommend sizing up though because they are a little bit tighter, but they're so comfortable to work out in. If I'm running, if I'm doing a HIIT workout, I just don't have to worry about my top like bunching up. And so I'm really happy that I bought these. I'll have them linked down below. The last one is just all of our organizational stuff in our home. So I remember I ordered all this stuff and I was like, this is kind of expensive just paying this much money for like buckets for storage, but it really does make a difference when everything in your home is very organized. And I'm very thankful that I have everything so organized in our home because it makes all the daily tasks just a lot easier to do when everything has a place. And so I'll link all the organizers I have down below. We have like little drawer organizers, we have baskets everywhere, and it just makes your life a lot easier. So I would definitely recommend, if that's something that you're into, they'll all be linked down below. So those are all my best and worst purchases of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely feel like in 2021 I'll have more to share, so maybe I'll do another one of these then. Again, don't forget to let me know some of your best and worst purchases down below as well. I'm so thankful for you guys, and if you enjoyed, you can also hit that subscribe button. But I'm so thankful for you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.